Hi everyone, welcome to Rodha. In this video, we are gonna discuss a couple of puzzles here. But before we get into the puzzles, as you guys can see on your screen, we are gonna launch our R2 batch for CAT 2025, right? Now, in this particular batch, the Quant is taken by Swapnil sir, whom you are very well versed with. He has been, uploading a lot of videos on our channel here, and you guys have seen that how excellent he's in Quant, right? So basically he's gonna take care of the quant side and I'm gonna take care of the LRDI of this batch here, right? So if I talk about myself, I have been writing CAT for 8 years now and have scored consistently 99.5 plus overall across the years, right? And LRDI has been my forte and I really have a knack of solving puzzles, I guess. Yeah. So let's be study together for this entire year and make CAT 2025 a great success for each one of you, right? So what are the course offerings that we can see here? So the course offerings for this batch is gonna be nothing but we are gonna offer you complete LRDI from basic to advanced, right? So obviously we are not gonna start from very advanced level sets. We are gonna start from the very scratch. एकदम basic से पढ़ेंगे हम लोग, ठीक है? And we are gonna build our level step by step. ये नहीं होगा कि on the very first day you feel like कि क्या चल रहा है, ठीक है ना? So you're gonna train your mind in such a way कि by the time you reach CAT इतने sets practice हो चुके होंगे, इतने quality of sets कर चुके होंगे तुम लोग कि your thinking will change. The way you approach sets ना, अभी क्या होता होगा? I mean those who have already started their preparation by self, they must have realized कि यार boss LRDI is one section जहाँ पे you need guidance, right? ऐसा होता होगा कि you're solving a set and then you get stuck, right? So that is where a mentor comes into picture. Maybe you're very brainy and you have a great skill of solving puzzles. Let's say तुम बहुत you have a very sharp IQ. But a good guidance is really important when it comes to CAT. Whether it is Quant, whether it is LRDI, whether it is VARC. This is a misconception of people कि if I'm a ICSE board student, मेरा verbal तो एकदम I'm gonna go over sky, the scores, right? But that is not something that happens in actual CAT, right? CAT is the exam which really tests a lot of skills and you really need a mentor for such an exam, okay? So if somebody tells you that, you're good at it, but self कर लो हो जाएगा, so maybe you'll able to crack the exam. I'm not denying the fact, but this thing of a score in 99.5 plus score where you get a call from ABC, that is something it's very rare without a mentor, right? So mentor बहुत important है, guidance बहुत important है, right? Maybe you're doing a set of questions which are irrelevant. Now who's gonna guide you? Somebody who's experienced, right? Somebody who's taken that exam for multiple years, somebody who has been in that industry for a lot of years, right? So that is why I always feel, that a mentor is very important in our CAT preparation journey, okay? So coming back to our offerings here, so we are giving you 3 physical booklets of, this thing which has 600 plus sets, right? It also includes our LRDI CAT booster. Now this is a very, the bread and butter of this course here. I mean, those who have attended booster this year, they know that, how good quality sets we had discussed this year in our booster course. And how people have, I was really amazed to see a lot of students telling me, sir, I could attempt all 5, right? So we have students who have done all 5 sets in their CAT this year, right? Just because they were practicing so many sets, right? So we believe in, giving high quality sets and a lot of practice to you guys so that you are very well prepared for whatever is thrown at you in the exam. No matter whether the paper is easy, moderate, difficult, you must be ready for every type of situation that you're gonna face on your D-Day, right? Okay. Apart from that, we are giving you 20 sectional videos with video solutions, right? So we are gonna, post test on your portal. Obviously, topic test will be there along with that. Sectional test with video solutions, right? And those are gonna be detailed video solutions. So this is all in all that we are gonna give you for LRDI. We have a combined course as well, right? Which comprises of LRDI, VARC, and QA, everything, right? You can take individual courses. So in this particular batch, LRDI will be taken care by me, right? From the starting till the end, I'll be your LRDI mentor, right? And I'll be taking care of all your LRDI doubts and problems and anything that you face for the entire year. It is gonna all be my responsibility to take care of it, right? Okay. So another thing important here is the pricing of this, this course here, right? So initially we had launched it at a 12,500 price, But as of now, if you enroll on an earlier basis, right, so we are running some discounts here, because of which the price comes down to 10,000 rupees, right? So it's not a big hole in your pocket, right? And considering the amount of material you're gonna get here, the amount of guidance that you'll be getting here, I think it's worth it, right? And also, another important thing is that it's very good to start early, right? This is the right time to start your CAT preparation. A lot of people happen to start their preparation in the month of May, June, July. I don't think that is the right time, because even if you're an engineer, non-engineer, whoever you are, right, LRDI and VRC is one section where you need to start early, because LRDI, you need to train your mind to solve puzzles. VRC, you need to read a lot of content to get into that zone, to make yourself comfortable with different genres of RCs, right? You are getting passages on psychology, sociology, philosophy, XYZ, all such genres, abstract passages where you don't make sense out of it, right? So the only way to do, tackle such things in the exam is to start early, right? So I always suggest people, that you start early, finish your course earlier, and then just get into the mock solving phase towards the end, right? Those who start late, they always have a, those who start early, in fact, they have an added advantage to those who start in the month of May, June, right? So, alright, so these are the course things. If you have, any concerns regarding the course, the timings and stuff, we'll be letting you know soon, right? And that is it. You can reach out to a support number, to a mail ID for any queries, anything that you feel like, okay? Alright, let's solve a couple of puzzles here. It's not, a good idea just to, just talk about the batch and then vanish from here. So let me just discuss a couple of puzzles for you guys here, right? So the very first puzzle is on your screen here. It's a number based puzzle, a Sudoku type puzzle, right? So let's start to solve this. Before I solve it, you guys can pause this video and attempt these questions and see if you get all correct, right? Alright, so let's start with the discussion of this puzzle here. So it tells me that Sir Jay Ganesh, okay? So Sir Jay Ganesh invented a new game which consisted of a square with 9 equal squares in it. Alright, so there's a bigger square here. If you observe, there's a big square here, right? Sorry, my bad. So there's a bigger square here, and each of this has 9 equal squares, right? These are the 9 equal squares that we have inside a big square, right? So that is what it is telling me here, right? Further, it says now every square must be filled by 4 numbers, okay? So every square must be filled by 4 numbers here. Alright, so every square must be filled by 4 numbers, one in each triangle, such that the sum of 4 numbers in the square is always 15. Alright, so sum of any such a square here, right? Inside this huge square, there are 9 smaller squares, and sum of each square should be nothing but 15 here, right? That is what is given to me. All the 4 numbers in a square must, however, be different. Okay, so we cannot repeat the numbers. For example, if I have used a 2 here, I cannot have a 2 here, or I cannot have a 2 here as well. Fine. Also, the numbers in the triangle which share sides must be different. Okay, so numbers in the triangle which are sharing the sides must be different. So that means, for example, if I have a 1 in this triangle, right, so it is sharing the side with this particular triangle here, so I cannot have a 1 here. 1 is not allowed, right? So the numbers in triangles which share sides must be different. All right, each row in each column is given a name, and the respective triangle is denoted by its direction with respect to the center of the square. Fine. So each row and each column has been assigned a name here, right? You can see A, B, C, D, E, F, right? And it is the direction has been given as per the center of the square. One can only use the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the numbers that you're allowed to use to fill this entire square here, the grid here, is 1 to 7, right? Okay, and the square given below is partially filled. All right, so let's start filling this square here. So the numbers that I have here to fill are, I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, let's just start filling this. Okay, so 5 plus 2 is 7. So I'm talking about DA square, right? D from the row and A from the column, right? So DA has 7 already. I need a 8 more. If I need a 8 more, 1 and 7 is possible, right? 1 and 7 is definitely possible. 2 and 6 is not possible. Why? Because I've already used a 2 here. So I cannot use the same number in the square, right? So 2 and 6 is not possible. 3 and 5 is also not possible because we have already used a 5 here, right? So the only possibility is 1 and 7, right? But I cannot place a 7 here. Why? Because this is already 7. So these two triangles are sharing the sides, right? So I cannot have the same number. So which clearly implies that 1 should be here and 7 should be here, right? Okay, let's come to the next one, EA now. Let's talk about EA. 7 plus 3 is 10. I want the sum to be 15 for each square, right? So I need a 5 more. 1 and 4. Alright, 1 and 4 is possible. I'm not going to violate any condition. 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3, is it possible? No. Why? Because 3 is already here. So 1 and 4 is possible. And if 1 is here, then 4 will be here. If 4 is here, then 1 will be here. So there are two possibilities in this particular case here, right? Now, next one. FA, 6, 5, 11. I need a 4 more. So if I need a 4 more, I can have a 1 and a 3. I can have 2 and 2. No, we cannot. 4 and 0, no. So only possibility is 1 and 3, right? But again, I cannot place a 3 here in this particular box. Why? Because these two triangles are sharing the sides here, right? So if I cannot place a 3 here, so this definitely has to be 1 here and this will be 3. All right. Now let's talk about this one, FB. Okay, let's talk about this square, that is FB here, this one. All right. Now 2 plus 1 is 3. I need how much more? 12 more, right? So if I need 12 more, so 7 and 5 is a possibility for sure. 6 and 6, no, not possible, right? 6 and 6 is not possible. 4 and 8, no, there's no 8, right? So 7 and 5 is the only possibility that we have here. I cannot place a 5 here because adjacent sides cannot have same numbers of triangles. So this should be a 7 here and this should be a 5 here. All right. Next one. 6 and 4 is 10. I need a 5 more, right? So 5 more can be either 1 and 4 or 2 and 3, right? Two possibilities only. 4 is already used here, so I cannot use a 1 and 4. So the only possible combination that I can take is 2 and 3, right? And 2 cannot be here, so this is 3. Sorry. So this should be 2 here and this should be 3. Why? Because 2 and 2 will make it adjacent sides of a same triangle, right? Now, let's talk about DB here. Let's talk about DB, okay? So 6 and 1 is 7. I need a 8 more. For 8 more, 1 and 7 is possible, but 1 is already used, so I cannot take 1 and 7. 2 and 6 is possible, but 6 is also used, so I cannot take 2 and 6. 3 and 5 is possible, right? So I need a 8 more to make it 15. 3 and 5 is possible. And then again, there are multiple possibilities. If this is 3, then this is 5. If this is 5, then this is 3. Because 3 and 5 can come at both the places here, alright? Now, if I look at this particular cell here, right? So there are 3 empty here, right? So I'll come back to this later. ठीक है ना? इस पे last में आते हैं. Why? Because this box here needs me to placing 3 values. Others require me to place only 2 values, and we have seen that placing of 2 values is easier. So I'll put that for last. Let me fill the other values first. All right. So let me come to FC now. Okay, that is the corner box here. So F and C. 2 plus 6 is 8. I need a 7 more. If I need a 7 more, I can take a 1 and a 6 here, right? But 6 is already used, so I cannot take 1 and 6. 2 and 5, but again 2 is also used. 3 and 4 is possible, right? And 3 and 4 is possible, and I can have multiple possibilities. 3 here, then 4 here, 4 here, then 3 here, right? Alright, next one. 5 plus 1 is 6. I need a 9 more to make it 15. Okay, I need a 9 more, right? So 9 more can be done in how many ways? Let's see. 1, 8, no. 2 and 7. 2 and 7 is definitely possible, right? 9 can be 2 plus 7, right? 3 and 6 is also possible. Alright, that's it. 4 and 5 I cannot use because 5 is already here. So there are a couple of possibilities here now. So if this is 2, then this is 7. If this is 7, then this is 2. That is one case, right? If this is 3, this is 6. If this is 6, then this is 3. Another case, right? So these are 4 possibilities for this particular box here. Alright. Now, the last one. I need sum of 3 values here to be 8 because this is 7, right? So I want my 3 values to be 8. Let's say this is A, this is B, and this is C here. All right. So I want my A plus B plus C to be equal to 8. All right. Now, if you observe here, let's say, if you observe here, I want the sum to be 8. Okay, na? So can I do without a 1 here? Is it possible to get a sum of 8 without a 1? If you look at the 3 smallest numbers, 2, 3, 4. So I definitely need a 1 here, right? 1 is definitely required, isn't it? So if I need a 1 here, so sum of 2 numbers should be 7. So sum of 2 numbers should be 7. I can use a 2 and a 5. I can also use a 3 and a 4 as well, right? So there are 2 possibilities. But 1 will definitely be coming here, right? Is there any other combination that I can make without 1? Without 1, anyways, there's no combination. With 1 there are only two possibilities, 2 and 5 and 3 and 4. So this is 8 and this is also 8, right? Now if you look here, right, this is 1, so B cannot be 1. This is 1, so C cannot be 1. So definitely A has to be 1, right? So A has to be 1. That means 1 will definitely be coming here. I'll probably use a red color. Use the same color that I was using. So just let me get rid of this here. Yeah. So A is definitely equal to 1. Now B and C, there are multiple possibilities here. So let me just erase this B and C. I don't need this. This was just for explanation here. So B and C. Now if this is 2, then this is 5. If this is 5, then this is 2. That is one case, right? If this is 3, this is 4. If this is 4, then this is 3, another case, right? So there are 4 possible cases here, right? Fix a 2 here, 5, 2. Fix a 5 here, 5, 2. Fix a 3 here, 4, 3. 4 here, 3, 4, right? So there are 4 possibilities here as well. So I think that is my complete grid. I guess I have filled the entire grid here, right? So I think we are good to go with the questions here. Before we get into the questions here, let me just quickly recheck if I'm not violating any condition, because it's always a good idea to recheck your set, right, whenever you're solving. So just a quick recheck here. So 7, 5, 2, 1 is 15, 7, 3, 10, 15, 1, 3, 5, 6, 15, alright, 7, 5, 12, and this is 15, this is also 15. 6, 1, 7 and 8, 15, perfect. 3, 4, 7, 8, 15, 5, 1, 6. Okay, hold on guys, see. So this is what, no, whenever you're solving such kind of sets, no, there are high chances of making a mistake, like here. So I cannot take a 2 here, isn't it? Why? Because this is already 2. So 2 adjacent triangles cannot have the same number. So there's only one possibility, that is 7 is here and 2 is here, right? So this case is probably ruled out, right? So I can just cross this, alright? Okay, 7, 1, 8 and 7. Yeah, perfect, right? So let's move ahead to the questions here. The first question, in how many possible ways can the game be completed? Alright, so in how many possible ways can the game be completed? Let's see. So where are the possibilities? Can I say EA? Okay, question number 1, right? So EA has got 2 possibilities here, right? I'm just gonna write the squares where there are multiple possibilities, right? FA has only one case. DB has got again 2 possibilities here. So DB has couple of possibilities, right? And then I have FC that has got 2 possibilities here, right? Okay, then EC has got 3 possibilities. How 3? 3, 6, 6, 3 and 7, 2, right? So 3 combinations. And DC will get exactly 4 combinations. How 4 combinations? If this is 2, this can be 5. I've already explained, right? And if this is 2, then this can be 2 as well, right? Then this is 2, this is 5, this is 5, this is 2. These are 1 combinations, right? 3, 4, 4, 3. So 4 combinations for DC. Now, total number of ways the games can be completed will be nothing but the product of these numbers here. So if I multiply them, 2 2s is 4, 4 2s is 8, 8 3s is 24, and 24 into 4 is basically 96 here. So the correct answer is option number D, right? 96. Okay. Let's move to the question number 2 here. Which of the following can be the number in the triangle CF South? Okay, so CF and South, from the center if I go south, it can be either 4 or 3, right? So the answer is either 4 or 3. That is option number 1 or 3. So that is my right answer, right? So pretty easy set. Let's move to the next set of questions here. What will be the sum of the numbers in AD South and BD North and BE West? Okay, so AD South is 1, okay, plus BD North, so B and D, that is this square, and North we have 3 or 5, right? So it can be 3 or 5, plus BE West, so BE, and I want to go to the west side from the center, so which is 2, so plus 2 here, right? So I can say my sum can be either 6 or it can be 8. There are both the possibilities, right? So my answer will be definitely cannot be determined, isn't it? Alright. The last question here. Which of the following is the sum of the numbers in the east and west direction of AD, AE and AF blocks? Okay. So sum of the numbers in the east and west. Alright. So AD east and west is 2 plus 5, that is 7. Alright. Plus AE east and west. AE east and west is 1 plus 4, that is 5 here. Right. And AF block, the sum is 6 and 5 east and west, which is 11 here. If you add all these numbers, you'll get nothing but, I can say 23. So the required answer is 23 here. Alright. So this was again a easy set, not difficult at all. Just that you have to, fill in the numbers correctly. A easier version of Sudoku, I would say, right? A kind of a Sudoku, I would say, right? Alright, let's do one more set, guys. Let's do one arrangement set here. Alright, not arrangement, basically a matrix set here, right? So let's try to solve this particular set here. Again, I would want you guys to pause this video, try this set, and then listen to the video solution. Alright, also you can let me know in the comment section below how many of you got what numbers of question correct. Alright, so let's start reading this particular set here. It says a vending machine has 5 switches which when operated give vodka, whiskey, rum, beer and wine depending upon the switches that are turned on. Fine. The machine is such that each switch supplies 2 different drinks and each drink is supplied by 2 different switches. Okay. If 2 switches are turned on, the common drinks, if any, nullify each other and will not come out at all. Okay. So what is this trying to tell me? For example, let's say I have vodka, whiskey, rum, beer and wine, right? Let's say my switches are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? So the first part of the sentence is telling me each switch supplies 2 different drinks, right? So let's say for switch number 1, okay, switch number 1, let's say supplies vodka and rum. So it cannot supply whiskey, beer and wine, fine. And it also says that each drink is supplied by 2 different switches. So let's say rum is supplied by switch number 1 and let's say switch number 3. So if switch number 3 is a tick, so this should be a cross. It cannot be supplied by switch number 4 and it cannot be supplied by switch number 5. So basically what these 2 lines are telling me is कि जो एक switch है वो 2 drinks supply करता है. It could be any 2 drinks, right? Each drink is also supplied by 2 switches. जैसे यहाँ पे मैंने एग्जाम्पल में रम को 1 और 3 से लिया, right? So exactly 2 switches are supplying the rum here, right? And one switch number 1 is supplying exactly 2 drink, that is vodka and rum. ठीक है ना? तो what I'm trying to tell you here is कि मुझे इस स्टेटमेंट से ये फंडा समझ में आया कि यार हर रो में ना, in every single row I should be getting 2 ticks and 3 crosses. तभी हर स्विच 2 ड्रिंक सप्लाई करेगा और हर कॉलम में 2 टिक और 3 क्रॉसेस आने चाहिए, है ना? तभी हर ड्रिंक 2 स्विचेस से बाहर आ रही होगी. ठीक है, सो दिस इज द कंडीशन दैट आई हैव हियर, राइट? नाउ फर्दर इट सेज if 2 switches are turned on, ठीक है, if 2 switches are turned on, the common drinks if any nullify each other. ठीक है, so what it is trying to tell me कि अगर 2 switch turn on हुए और अगर कोई भी common drink है तो वो nullify हो जाएगी. nullify मतलब it is not gonna come out from the machine. ठीक है ना, वेंडिंग मशीन से वो ड्रिंक बाहर नहीं आने वाली है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से वोडका 3 से सप्लाई नहीं होता. ठीक है, लेट्स से वोडका सप्लाइड बाय स्विच नंबर 1 and 4, राइट? अब मान लो मैंने 1 and 3 का कॉम्बिनेशन वेंडिंग मशीन में जाके प्रेस कर दिया. ठीक है, 1 and 3 का कॉम्बिनेशन प्रेस कर दिया, राइट? अब देखो यार, यहाँ पे 1 से वोडका सप्लाई होता है और 3 से नहीं होता है. ठीक है, 1 से रम सप्लाई होता है और 3 से भी रम सप्लाई होता है. तो कहने से रम इज अ कॉमन ड्रिंक फॉर स्विच नंबर 1 and 3, isn't it? ये जो रम है मेरा, ये स्विच नंबर 1 and 3 का कॉमन ड्रिंक है. And it is clearly mentioned that if there are any common drinks, it is gonna nullify each other. तो कहने से ये रम nullify हो जाएगा. ये सुनो, तो अगर मुझे 2 टिक मिलते हैं एक कॉलम में, तो डेफिनेटली वो अगर वो 2 स्विच का कॉम्बिनेशन यू आर टर्निंग ऑन इन द मशीन, देन दैट ड्रिंक इज गोना गेट नलिफाइड. ठीक है ना? बट अगर तुम्हें ड्रिंक चाहिए तो ड्रिंक कब मिलेगी? जब 2 स्विच ऐसे टर्न ऑन करो जिसमें एक टिक और एक क्रॉस का कॉम्बिनेशन हो. ठीक है ना? सो यू आर नॉट गोना गेट अ ड्रिंक. ठीक है, ड्रिंक कब मिलेगी? सो लेट्स राइट द केसेस हियर. आई विल गेट अ ड्रिंक only when the column has 1 tick and 1 cross combination, right? If I don't want a drink, so the possibility is either it is 2 crosses और 2 ticks. अगर 2 क्रॉस है तब भी ड्रिंक नहीं मिलेगी, और अगर 2 टिक है उस स्विच के कॉम्बिनेशन तब भी ड्रिंक नहीं मिलेगी. क्यों? क्योंकि वो नलिफाई हो जाएगी. दिस विल गेट नलिफाइड हियर बिकॉज इट इज क्लियरली मेंशन्ड दैट द ड्रिंक्स गेट नलिफाइड, राइट? ओके, सो the next statement tells me that to get the drink that one wants, one has to turn on the right combination of switches, put in the money, press the delivery button and out comes the drink. ठीक है, fine. So we need a right combination of switches to get a particular drink. So अभी तो मुझे जो समझ आया कि हर रो में 2 टिक और 3 क्रॉस आने, क्योंकि हर स्विच से 2 ड्रिंक सप्लाई होनी है. हर कॉलम में भी 2 टिक और 3 क्रॉस आने हैं, क्योंकि हर ड्रिंक एक्जैक्टली 2 स्विचेस से सप्लाई होगी. ठीक है, तो मैंने कॉलम वाइज ड्रिंक्स लिए और रो वाइज स्विचेस लिए. ठीक है, परफेक्ट. अनदर थिंग दैट आई हैव गॉट टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम द स्टेटमेंट इन द फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ इज कि अगर if there's any common drink between 2 switches, then that drink is gonna get nullified. That is not gonna come out at all, right? So these are the few conditions, and now we have turning on switches and what do they supply, और उसके basis पे we have to crack this entire set here. ठीक है, चलो let's start working this set out here. So 1 and 3 we get whiskey and rum. Okay, 1 and 2 we get vodka and wine. 1 and 4 we get beer, vodka, rum, wine and rum and wine. That's it, 4 drinks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 do not supply whiskey, beer, vodka, rum and wine respectively. ठीक है, so let me just do a placing of numbers here. ठीक है, मैं ये switches place कर देता हूँ. Let's say 1, switch number 2, switch number 3 here, 4 here and 5 here. ठीक है, let's say I'll put the drinks here. So let's say whiskey, right? Then we have beer, then we have vodka, then we have rum, and then we have a wine. Now see, one beautiful thing that I've done here is what I've done, I'll tell you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 do not supply whiskey, beer, vodka, rum and wine respectively. So I've taken whiskey, beer, vodka, rum and wine as per this particular order here, right? This order here. Why? Because when I'm putting a cross here, 1 does not supply whiskey. Maybe I'll use a different color. Let me use green. Okay, so 1 does not supply, sorry, my bad. 1 does not supply whiskey, right? 2 does not supply beer. 3 does not supply vodka, 4 does not supply rum, and 5 does not supply wine, right? So these are this thing here, right? So now look at the diagram here. It looks very neat and clean, isn't it? सोचो crosses scattered पड़े हो, and now I have done it in such a way कि एक diagonal मेरा cross आ रहा है, right? So doesn't it make the diagram look beautiful? And also it increases, you know, your understanding of this thing set here. काफी clarity मिलेगी while solving. ठीक है ना, चलो let's try to solve this particular set here now. So 1 and 3 we get whiskey and rum. ठीक है, that is my first condition. So 1 and 3 we get whiskey and rum. ठीक है, अब बताओ यार, 1 और 3 के कॉम्बिनेशन से मुझे विस्की चाहिए, राइट? 1 से विस्की नहीं मिल रही है ना? हमने 2 कंडीशन लिखी थी. अगर ड्रिंक चाहिए तो एक टिक और एक क्रॉस का कॉम्बिनेशन होना चाहिए 2 स्विचेस में. अगर ड्रिंक नहीं चाहिए तो वी शुड हैव 2 क्रॉसेस और 2 टिक्स, राइट? तो मुझे 1 and 3 से विस्की चाहिए, राइट? अब 1 में अगर क्रॉस है तो दूसरे में टिक होना चाहिए ना, फॉर श्योर, राइट? सो दिस शुड बी अ टिक हियर बिकॉज आई वांट दैट ड्रिंक, इजंट इट? देन 1 and 3 से वी वांट रम एज वेल, है ना? रम का कुछ भी डेटा नहीं है, ठीक है, ऑलराइट. अब ये बात बताओ मुझे, क्या मुझे 1 और 3 से वोडका चाहिए? नो, राइट? 1 and 3 से तो मुझे सिर्फ विस्की एंड रम ही चाहिए ना, राइट? आई डोंट वांट अ वोडका. 3 में क्रॉस है. अगर मैंने यहाँ पे टिक किया, इफ आई पुट अ टिक हियर, देन 1 and 3 विल गिव मी अ वोडका. व्हाई? बिकॉज ये तो ड्रिंक का कॉम्बिनेशन बन गया. बट आई वांट ड्रिंक बार, मुझे ड्रिंक नहीं चाहिए, राइट? सो आई जस्ट राइट इट स्लाइटली नीटली. यहाँ पे लिखता हूं मैं अच्छे से इसको, ठीक है? सो ड्रिंक बार का कॉम्बिनेशन इज बेसिकली, वाओ व्हाट अ वर्ड, ड्रिंक बार, राइट? ओके, सो ड्रिंक नहीं चाहिए, राइट? लेट्स से ड्रिंक क्रॉस नहीं चाहिए एंड ड्रिंक चाहिए, राइट? सो इफ आई वांट अ ड्रिंक, सो टिक एंड क्रॉस का कॉम्बिनेशन होना चाहिए. वेदर क्रॉस टिक और टिक क्रॉस दैट डजंट मैटर, बट ऑल्टरनेट होना चाहिए. अगर एक टिक है तो दूसरा क्रॉस होना चाहिए, राइट? इट शुड बी कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री ऑफ ईच अदर. बट अगर मैंने यहाँ पे टिक डाल दिया गाइस, है ना, तो 1 और 3 से वोडका मिल जाएगा. बट आई ओनली वांट विस्की एंड रम फ्रॉम 1 and 3. सो कैन आई से मुझे यहाँ पे आई शुड पुट अ क्रॉस हियर, राइट? यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए? इट शुड डेफिनेटली बी अ क्रॉस हियर, ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे क्रॉस कर दो, राइट? एनी अदर इंफॉर्मेशन दैट वी हैव ऑन 1 and 3? नो, राइट? नाउ 1 and 2. 1 and 2 we need a vodka and wine, right? 1 and 2 we need a vodka and wine. ठीक है, fine. Now if you observe here, 1 and 2 we need a vodka and wine. So vodka is not coming from 1 here, right? But I want the drink vodka from 1 and 2. And because when I want a drink, it should be, if 1 is cross, other should be tick. तो यहाँ पे definitely मेरा tick आना चाहिए because 1 and 2 से vodka चाहिए मुझे, ठीक है? क्या मुझे 1 और 2 से whiskey चाहिए? Do I want a whiskey from 1 and 2? No, this is wine, okay? 1 and 2 we want a vodka and wine. Whiskey तो नहीं चाहिए. So if I don't want this drink, so can I say it should be the same mark? If 1 is cross, then the other should also be a cross because I don't want this drink. Similarly, 1 and 2 से I don't want a beer as well. This is a cross, so this should also be definitely a cross here, right? ये भी मेरा cross होना चाहिए, ठीक है ना? Now, if you look at the first row, ठीक है, there are already 3 crosses played and we already 3 crosses have been placed here, right? And we know that every switch supplies exactly 2 drinks, ठीक है ना? तो यहाँ पे 3 क्रॉस आ गए, तो बची हुई 2 ड्रिंक्स तो स्विच 1 से सप्लाई होनी चाहिए, सो दैट आई डोंट वॉलेट माई कंडीशन ऑफ दैट एवरी स्विच is supplying 2 different drinks, right? So this should be a tick and this should also be a tick here, ठीक है ना? Similarly, now coming back to 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 we only want vodka and wine, ठीक है ना? 1 से रम मिल रहा है, right? So 1 से रम मिल रहा है, तो क्या मुझे 2 से रम चाहिए? Obviously चाहिए, why? Because मुझे 1 और 2 से रम तो नहीं चाहिए ना, I don't want a rum from the combination of switch number 1 and 2, तो मुझे इसको नलिफाई करना पड़ेगा ना. आई नीड टू हैव 2 ticks टू नलिफाई दिस, सो दिस शुड डेफिनेटली बी अ टिक हियर, राइट? सेम लॉजिक, अगर 2 टिक हो गए सेकेंड रो में, राइट, सो कैन आई से द थर्ड शुड ऑटोमेटिकली बी अ क्रॉस हियर, isn't it? Because every switch supplies exactly 2 drinks, isn't it? Now, if you look at the column of rum here, already 2 switches are supplying rum and every drink is supplied by exactly 2 switches. So if 2 switches are already supplying rum, so the other 3 switches cannot supply rum, so this should be a cross and this should also be a cross, ठीक है ना? Now coming back, 1 and 3 से whiskey और rum चाहिए था, ठीक है? We wanted a whiskey and a rum, right? 1 से beer नहीं मिल रहा है, so I don't want a beer from 3 as well, because 1 and 3 से मुझे beer तो चाहिए नहीं ना, so this should be a cross. Again, column 2 already has 3 crosses, so the remaining 2 should be definitely ticks. Why? Because every drink is supplied by 2 different switches, so it has to be 4 and 5, because it is not supplied by 1, 2 and 3 here, right? Similarly, now 1 and 3 we want vodka and wine, so I definitely want a wine from 1 and 3, ठीक है ना? 1 से wine मिल रहा है, if I had placed a tick here, तो ये wine nullify हो जाता ना, but मुझे तो wine चाहिए from 1 and 3, I want a wine, right? Sorry, 1 and 3 I want a, from 1 and 2 I want a wine, okay, so that is done, sorry, my bad guys. Yeah, 1 and 3, do I want a wine here from 1 and 3? Do I want a wine from here? No, we don't want a wine from 1 and 3. 1 and 3 we want whiskey and rum, so if I don't want wine from 1 and 3, so I need to nullify this drink, so to nullify this drink I should put a tick here, right? Now if you look at the column of wine, already 2 switches are supplying wine here, so the other 3 should be a cross, so this should be also a cross, right? Now same logic can I use somewhere else? Okay, so that's it. I think I have reached a deadlock here now, so I need to utilize the further conditions here. Okay, 1 and 4 we get beer, vodka, rum and wine. Okay, so 1 and 4 we get beer, vodka, rum and wine, so 4 drinks. Okay, let's see. 1 is not supplying whiskey, so 4, I don't want a whiskey from 1 and 4, right? I don't want a whiskey from 1 and 4, so this should be alike, so this should be a cross as well, right? Now switch number 4, already 3 crosses are done, it should supply 2 drinks, so 1 is beer, so other has to be vodka, so this should be a tick here, right? Again, now vodka column, it is supplied by already 2 switches, that is 2 and 4, so no further switch can supply vodka, so this should be a cross here. Switch number 5, already 3 crosses are placed and it has to supply 2 drinks, so this should be a tick here, right? So that is your complete table. So this was a very important understanding in the set here, ki boss, if you have figured out this concept which I wrote here, right, this particular concept here, that is, you know, each row should have 2 ticks and each column should have 2 ticks, this set would have been a cakewalk for you, right? So you know, that is what we'll teach you here, how to think like this, है ना? ऐसे कैसे सोचें, right? So when we do lot of sets, when we do similar kind of sets and lot of practice, that is what we mentioned in the beginning of this video, that over 600 plus sets, right? 700 800 sets हम करेंगे पूरे साल में, तो इतनी प्रैक्टिस करने बाद ये सोचना ऑटोमेटिक तुम्हारा बनने लगेगा, that flow will come in solving of sets, जो अभी नहीं आता होगा, right? So with this we come to the end of this video here, right? And I would you know, suggest you guys that if you are really serious about your CAT preparation this year, I mean for CAT 2025, and you really want that, you know, somebody should support you, guide you in this journey, then, you know, please feel free to reach out to us for any queries as well, and we are here to help you. And you may join our coming batch, that is the R2 batch, which is launching on 13th of December. All right, thank you.